Reminds me of old Nazi Germany.
I love that sound. Sound of good valves. Nice warm engine. I have a fair amount of gas. I should be able to make it there. Maybe not. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. So what's up, everybody? It's been a while. As you know, I'm going to be moving into a new place soon, so I've kind of been dealing with that, and I've been working crazy hours for my new company. I work about 58 hours a week. I'm on 5 10s and an 8, and today is my first Saturday off in about a month. I just wanted to touch base with everybody. Don't you fucking hit me! Just wanted to touch base with everybody and see how you're doing. Seriously, leave me a comment below. I want to know how you're doing. And I'm going. I love how that panel's been there for so long. They were like, you know what, screw it, let's just make it part of the road. So I wanted to talk about what's an appropriate size as a starter bike and as a bike for you in general for the rest of your life, and how ridiculous the amount of crap you will hear sounds. Okay, so you always hear the stereotypical, you don't get anything less than 500, 250s are great starter bikes, but you'll outgrow them fast. Thousands are just death rockets, 1200s are ridiculous, 1400s, 1600s are all giant, monstrous, and big and stupid, and they're too heavy. The only thing I will say is, or slightly agree with, is heavy. Things will get heavy. The more the CCs, the more displacement you'll have, the bigger the bike needs to be, the heavier it will be. So if you have something that's like 1600 cc's, that's going to weigh a lot. Like a lot, and it's not going to be so fun. So what I would recommend is, if you're a small guy or gal, or even a big guy or gal, you might want to like sit on that machine, figure out how much it weighs, how much you can lift, because one day you're going to have to push that off of yourself, or, you know, get yourself out from under it, or pick it back up because you got to get home. And all the time you will hear starter bike this, big bike that, more experienced rider this. I have ridden almost everything under the sun. I've ridden cruisers, sport bikes, standards, supermotos, old cafe racers, old standards, new standards, 2-strokes, 4-strokes, everything. And the only thing that I will say that's consistent across the board is everything is relative and everything's always different. 2-stroke versus 4-stroke is always really weird. 4-strokes hit more towards the top but a wider band. 2-strokes feel like as long as you're within the red line, that's where it goes. 4-strokes are a little more broad. V-twin 4-strokes are way more broad. Monocylinders are wide, super loose, like they're very mid-range is what I would say. A lot of people say they have like low-end torque, which they do, but they don't have horsepower at low end. Like this, if you notice my tack, right about now is where it's hit, instead of at 12,000 RPM. So that's different. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. When you get to that much weight, you're going to have to be able to manipulate that pretty easily. That's why I like the DR so much. A little bit of input on the handlebars and I go exactly where I want. That's due to rake and trail. But partially due to the weight. The weight of the bike is very, very light. It's very minimal. I have a very, very light bike, considering it's only 327 pounds. And a sport bike of this class weighs about 100 pounds more. I mean, it's got a hell of a lot more horsepower, ultimately. But in a turn, it'll never basically do the same thing as what I'm doing right now. Or sorry, what I'm able to do right now. And that's due to weight. That's due to geometry of the bike. So your rake and trail are how far your front end sticks out, and how far your back wheel is from your front, and how far you sit back, and where your body is positioned between everything. Ideally, your head and your two axle points, if you draw a line between all of them, should be a perfect triangle. But this is just that aside. This is weight and about CC and good starting value. Good starting value. It depends on what kind of person you are. Are you the kind of person when you get scared, you just give it a lot of gas? Or are you someone like me that pulls in the clutch as soon as anything goes wrong? Or are you the type of person that freaks out and likes to like throw their arms up or anything like that? Typically, motorcycles, you can learn on anything. I learned on 500. A lot of people learn on 250s. I've seen people buy 1,000, and that's their starter bike. I had a friend who his starter bike was a 750. What else was there? That 750 was very, very forgiving, though, and that's why I like motards. Is they're very forgiving. You can do some pretty stupid things, but it'll come back out of it. The only thing it really doesn't do so well is tank slapping, which, if that's happening on any bike, you're pretty much screwed regardless. If you're looking at those aspects, that's where things are different. That's where things are, you gotta kind of feel it out, see what you like, see what you don't like, all that kind of stuff. If it's your first bike, should be able to go that way. If it's your first bike, I understand things are going to be all sorts of weird. They're going to feel different. They're going to feel funky. The last thing you want to do is get something that's going to be even harder for you to manipulate, use. Yeah, 600s are great. I had a 600, I had an EX 500, which was a sport standard, and then I had a 750, it's the EX7RR. And that was really different. Going from those two bikes was night and day. 750 was a little overweight, but it was also an older bike. It was a 97. I had a 929 that was the same weight, hell of a lot more torque, and a hell of a lot more horsepower. But like I said, this is all relative. So it really depends on what's right for you. And when people say, oh, you need like a 500 to go everywhere, or you need like 1,000 to go anywhere, or if you're going to travel across the straits, you need this. There are people that do it on 125s. I'm looking to get a little, was it a Honda Rebel? The 250s, one of the old ones. I'm going to bob it out as soon as I get the money for it. I'm trying to find one for $500, breathe life back into it. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fine. It'll be wonderful. So with that information, go do anything you want. Just be safe about it.